GM everyone. This new stream is very special. We are talking about the same thing, but in a new tone, and which is agents, because this has been the hottest topic right now, and everybody's building around it, and there is so much which is going on onto the space. But I have some special guests with me on this. I have Sudeepan from AFI and Ash from Axel on this today. And the name of the topic is how can agents become economic actors? Now, when I speak about economic, because DeFi was a very big wave back in 2021, things blew up, everybody was going crazy around it, and then uh, things started to slow down, and there were different abstraction of Web3 into different segments, and we understood like how DeFi can be utilized and can be scaled upon. And then comes AI, right? And something I want to see, like you guys have been building into agent space specifically, like in complete honesty of AI, in complete honesty of DeFi, does DeFi AI is make sense to both of you? Like what's the magnitude of sense that makes for you? Like, is it something that would going to make, and this is an open space, honestly, like anybody can answer in and jump in and answer it. I'm not gonna throw the ball. You just can chime in. But what's the magnitude of making sense do you guys feel has it come to? And even if we speak about scale and metrics, what do you think? Has it reached that potential that what you guys are thinking or predicting that it's going to reach in the future?
Yeah, I mean, Ash, would you like to go ahead?
Yeah, I mean, my gut feeling is like obviously not. Like we're not even close to where we need to be. I think it makes perfect sense as it does for every industry, like trucking, like hospitals, you name it. Like AI has a use case, and I think for finance, of course, we've seen this for years in TradFi. Every quant firm on earth, every half decent hedge fund on earth is doing something with it. I think the challenge with crypto, as always, is like we have a lot of noise and not enough like immediate applications. Like everything from December to January, or that whole hype cycle with virtuals, etc., was cool and fun and experimental, but it's all like top of funnel AI agents that maybe just shitpost or do slightly fancier function calling under the hood. But we haven't seen like AI agents that can actually go and manage a portfolio. I think we're building towards that. Like somebody on our team sent us a or sent to the team like a tweet this morning. I think Coinbase is planning to do some like AI agent hedge fund portfolio management thing. Like there's zero doubt that that is the future. We're not there yet. Even on our end, like we're not at a level of sophistication where models are doing everything for you. We're building towards it, but at least we have products that are usable, even if it is more deterministic. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
But aren't yeah,
yeah,
please
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Yeah, so from my perspective, it's like, largely still AI is being used at the abstraction layer just because the LLM models at this point are really bad with maths, and hence it's very difficult to do stuff like financial data handling. Quantitative strategies is something which is way far ahead as compared to what is happening today. Now, there are two ways to go about it, literally. One is you could basically fine tune a particular model for DeFi, but the point is that that would probably make it better for it. But that is what OpenAI and its team is basically waking up to every day, right? So they're making the model better and better and over time. So in case of financial data handling, there are already like tons of machine learning models out there, tons of regression models, statistical models out there. It is far more accurate to use that, and use AI only at the abstraction layer, which is really where the user interacts, and not give the financial data handling to AI at all at this point. And let's see how the industry proceeds.
Yeah, I
But
agree
everybody
completely.
hasn't jumped the bandwagon. Like, don't you think? Like everybody has started like, oh, I have an idea. Let's do DeFi AI, and everybody's spinning up an agent, and like it's becoming very recursive in this segment. Like, how do you guys completely like, because it is becoming quite crowded in terms of strategy, devising, and all, and bringing in the liquidity. Like that's eventual goal for any agent for to be as easy as it could be, or being a tool which surpasses your traditional or even DeFi investment. So like, don't you think that the whole thing has become like really recursive in terms of the fancy cron jobs being uh, executed on different protocols? Like, what's your strategy of fighting that? And even from product side, like how you guys are tackling that?
I think it's similar to what I said. I just feel like I don't think it's crowded when it comes to like good apps and products that are even close to what we're describing. Even if you take away AI and you just think like good DeFi management app, like all in one, I can park my money here, like a robo advisor type thing. We don't even have those. Like the bar is zero. Like the bar outside of crypto is at least like one or two. The bar inside of crypto is zero. Like nobody's built anything that's like crazy. Or I shouldn't say nobody. Like obviously a lot of good teams that are trying to build and innovate, but so that's just on the point of noise. Like we don't get caught up in that. Exactly what you said. Like the name of the game is TVL, and it's a beautiful thing because it's as simple as your product works and people want to put money in it or they don't. It's the most like easy to switch if it fucks up. Like all my money today is sitting in Aave and Morpho. All my money starting next week should be parked in Axel Yield once we finish up our final level of testing. After that, all of your money shouldn't be sitting in your bank account. It should be parked here, right? Like in theory, if you do the job, even before you add on fancy layerings, like just aggregation plus automation and very deterministic rules, like then you could win. So that's how we think about it. We're laser focused on just like getting crypto native consumers on it today because easiest group to start to adopt. And like, frankly, they're the smart money here. It's like, if they're not going and aping into like random DeFi project that sounds good, even though there's no tech under the hood, even it has like 1 million Twitter followers, like it's your money. Like you're not going to go and do that at some point, like the shit posting stops. Then after that, you evolve towards like B2B, think like wallets that we want to integrate, fintechs, neobanks. And at some point, either our own mobile app, our own front end, or just an integration with a proper TradFi organization at scale. This is all inevitable. Like there's zero doubt in my head that somebody will do it. It's just like we're very early on the path. Like we're at the point in the path where like even crypto natives have not adopted the vast majority of these like fancier DeFi or DeFi like automation things, just because nobody's built the killer product at scale yet.
Yeah, I mean, even if you see the current like infrastructures which have been built, like you could go through Elisa OS and quite a few other ones. They're like building like individual autonomous agents, and you can just use them to crack up an agent for your own. But that's really not necessarily helping you because the moment you spin up an agent for yourself, it is something which is basically not benefiting out through a network, right? So it's really where you are able to create that network of agents which are able to intercommunicate between each other. Now, an agentic model is way more different as compared to a normal focus where you want to build out a chat interface on top of an LLM. The major difference is that agents perform or have access to certain tools. Now, all of these tools can do certain specific actions for you, right? So that specific action might be like LPing into a Uniswap position and that taking that LP token and going and looping it on Aave, right? But if you build a specific agent for Uniswap and then you build a specific agent for Aave and there's no intercommunication layer between them, which also backtests the strategy and then runs it for you, then it's of no use at the end of the day. I mean, no retail. I mean, at the end of the day, all the retail is in meme coin or they're doing like hyperliquid yield farming at the end of the day right now in DeFi. And what matters to the larger institutions or the liquid funds or the LPs is that they get a stable yield, right? So can you actually build a swarm, which is basically this coordination layer where, number one, all of these different agents which you are building out are rational and honest because they need to be, otherwise they can get corrupted at any given point of time. And second is once you have this network which is rational and honest, are you able to outperform the quantitative firms which are right now handling the LP funds, right? Which is the most important part of it because you can build out an agentic infra, or you can use agentic infras are like 20% LLM work and 80% infrastructure work, right? Which is like building out proprietary tools. Like you can get the market data of like historical market data, you can get the recent market data, you can get the liquidation data, you can calculate the liquidation at risk in a given position, so on and so forth. So for all of these, you would need different tools. But for a user to access this, you would need an abstraction layer at the top, which is where a user would come and interact to something which is looking like ChatGPT, but at the back end, it's an entire infrastructure as compared to just an LLM, which is sitting and giving you insights, right? So that's the entire viewpoint of it, where what we really lack is that coordination framework or that coordination layer. Google has come up with its own like A2A or agent to agent protocol. OpenAI has come up with its own agent framework. The important part is how are we able to utilize that and basically scale it to DeFi rather than just focusing on building out something like which is highly research focused and novel, because what is there in Web 2 is not yet there in Web 3. And we are thinking about doing something which is beyond Web 2, which is like completely ridiculous.
So the frameworks which are there right now, don't you feel like they are adding up to agent communication at all, or there is some kind of progress that you can see, like which is there, like because I see a lot of front ends have actually written that they have agent to agent communication and they have been sliding that. And what do you guys think? Like, is there anything which is out there which any builders want to utilize for their agent specifically in agent coordination? Like,
Yeah, I mean, there's this protocol called Giza Tech, and it's recently backed by the Base Ecosystem Fund. They're like one
yeah,
of our competitors as well. They've built out a swarm for themselves where it's basically a deposit arbitrage swarm on Base, where you can go ahead and deposit your capital into a smart contract wallet, and then the smart contract wallet goes and rebalances your position across Moonwell, Aave, and a few positions on Morpho to get you the best yield at any given point of time, which ranges anywhere between, let's say, 7% to 10% roughly. And this constant rebalancing happens over time. Now, people think that this is typically very easy to do because it's like something which even a bot can do, but that's not the case. The place where the intelligence actually comes in is so whenever you deposit something into a lending borrowing protocol, you are directly affecting the interest rate curves, right? So if there's a sudden surge in supply into any one pool, the supply rates would go down and the borrow rates would go up automatically, right? That's how these supply demand borrow curves and the interest rate curves are fixed. So what you need to back test is basically before translating. So let's say let's take an example, right? So let's say there are two pools. One on Morpho has a 7% yield at this point. The other pool has a 9.5% yield, right? And your funds are right now parked into that 7% pool. The agent sees that there's a sudden insurgence of a pool, which is suddenly more incentives, and it is going up to 9.5%. Right now, what you could typically think as a simple bot is just go ahead and deposit that capital which you have in the 7% pool into the 9.5% pool. But that's not how it works. What you need to backtest is basically when you take, let's say, even like a $10,000 worth of your capital from that 7% pool to that 9.5% pool, what is happening to the interest rate curve in that particular pool, right? So it may happen that if you transfer a certain high amount of liquidity, probably in millions, like let's say if you pull off $1 million of a transfer from that 7% pool to a 9.5% pool, then
James Wynn, if you're
then the
watching this, I'm just kidding.
yeah, I mean, then the 9.5% pool APY drops to 8.5% suddenly, and then you think that this was not worth it for a transfer, right? So you need to backtest all of that, and that's where the intelligence comes in, and that's where AI can do nothing at this point. It's literally AI can come in and do like research for you across different platforms because AI is very good at data, and data is not the crunch today. But what is really the crunch is whether to give actual user funds to AI. And that's something which we also are not doing at this point, neither is Giza doing, but it is like we are building out proprietary tools. What AI really does is it gives that NLP interface to you so that you can talk to it in a language you understand, and it translates that to a language which DeFi understands. So that's the basic part of it.
So there, you're saying that there is a lot, like on a scale of 0 to 10. What's the human intervention in this? Like, if you're saying that if these tools are being utilized, what kind of human intervention are we speaking of when it is happening with funds?
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about it from like two perspectives. One is really about developing and launching new agents, and the second is from a user's perspective. So, from a user's perspective, like even if we talk about AFI, it's pretty easy. You can go and do your own research, just like you do on ChatGPT across multiple protocols. We have protocol-specific agents. We would be launching like a single chat interface so that you can do a research across all of them. And for a swarm, it's just click and deploy, right? I mean, then you can go to sleep because everything would happen on its own. We would do the back testing on our own. The algorithm runs on its own, and it constantly rebalances your position over time. You can exit the position at any time. There's no lock-in as such. So what happens is You as a user will come and create your own wallet. And that will be a smart contract account abstracted wallet. The account abstracted wallet is directly interacting with the agent itself. So once you have dedicated your funds to the account abstracted wallet, it goes ahead and does everything on your own. That's like typically on the user side, but on the developer side, right now we are bootstrapping all the agents on our own, but we would be soon opening up the platform. So in our case, all the agents are acting as nodes in the network, and they're intercommunicating between each other. So you can come and spin up a node of your own. We would give you an SDK, which would require you to provide us data and action APIs. So data is for doing research so that people can do research on your protocols in a certain format, and that would be mentioned by the SDK. And the second is really about the actions part, where you can come and integrate the APIs of your protocol directly so that it becomes composable within the network. The difference between us and Eliza is that in Eliza, you can go ahead and launch an agent of your own. It will not be a part of a network. In our case, you can come and launch an agent of your own in our network. You can start generating revenue on that agent from day one, and you will be a part of that network, which means that a Pendle agent, if you launch it, and if it has a higher reputation as compared to the other Pendle agents, some might be launched by their team, some might be launched by other third parties. And if it has a higher reputation, people would be driving in more volume to that. And once there's more volume, you would be the one who is getting more node revenue at the end of the day, or agentic revenue, whatever you call it.
And at what stage you are to achieve that? Like, what is the stage of the product right now?
Yeah, I mean, we are already live with 3 research agents on Sonic at this point, probably 4. We also went live with the Pendle one. The Swarm is coming live end of this month. The first Swarm is going to be kind of like a lending protocol arbitrage, where we have 3 lending protocols in mind. One is Euler, the second one is Aave, the third one is I think it's Silo, because Morpho is yet not on Sonic. So across all of these protocols, you can just come in, deploy your funds, and you would be getting anywhere between a 9 to 10% yield on your stables. And then we'll move on to other like lavish assets like the PT assets, the Sonic assets, so on and so forth. And then we scale like across other swarms as well, like LP swarms. You can have like per basis trading swarms, so on and so forth.
Amazing. And I would love to see that as well, like in terms of like what development has been like, even a go around on the stream. Like, and Ash, what's your stage? What stage of Axel right now, and what you're thinking? Like, and I really want to come back to my last question as well. Like, you have seen like there is so much in terms of like there was so much happening with agents per se, like involving human intervention. So you guys are doing verifiable agents, right? Like, I would love to see, like, is there, at what scale is there human intervention are these with these agents, and what part of verifiability is actually using for these agents itself?
Yeah. I agree with like a lot of what was just said when it comes to approaching this. And like, I think the biggest issue here, when you think about any entity, whether it's an agent or not, controlling money is guarantees. We've taken a very strong approach or strong bet on intents as like the framework for how to codify requests towards agents or any external actor. The beauty of intents, and they've been piloted well by some of the top DeFi protocols that already exist, CowSwap, 1inch Fusion, across Uniswap X. Like, think of just you're spitting out a request into the void. I'm in state A today. I want to get to state B. I don't care how I get from state A to state B as long as X, Y, and Z outcome constraints are true. Like today, I have my USDC sitting idle in this wallet. Tomorrow, or when I click this button, I want USDC earning across some set of pools. I don't care what pools, as long as they are on Aave and they have above like X million in TVL and APY is above like 5%. That's an intent. Like other external actors could go and fulfill that. What we've built out is, to your question, like a lot of cryptographic guarantees that all that can be done is solutions within the intent space. Like I can't propose a solution where I'm putting your money into a Morpho pool, because at the transaction signing level, we have a check of like, is this pool on this whitelisted list from Aave, or was it deployed from this factory, stuff like that. Same thing for arbitrary conditions down the line. Like you could set up a rule where like, if Oracle tells me that crypto sentiment is high, invest more in high aggressive yield strategies versus others. Like all of this can be codified. And then we built out TEE, or trusted execution environment, transaction signing infra, where every request has to get routed through that. When I think about swarms right now, it's just us. Like we're building our own like agents and strategies that meet what users have requested. We want to open it up I think the issue with opening it up is like, and the issue that we have with reputation systems as well is like an actor can behave like a good actor for a long time and then fuck everyone over. Like that's why intents are good. Strong guarantees, some form of bonding or slashing is something that we've explored as well. It doesn't work great for yield because when you think about why any external actor would even want to fulfill yield intents, it's because like they want more capital. If I have some crazy strat that's printing, like I'm going to keep that strat closely held to my chest. Like there's no reason for me to go and expose it, especially when you think about verifying that I'm doing it correctly. The beauty of like a cross-chain swap or like what Uniswap X or Across are doing is like it's a full black box. Like I don't care what the external actor is doing. I don't have to know how they're sourcing liquidity on different chains. Like they could use different wallets for all I care. It's like very hard to identify, which is why there's still alpha in it. The challenge with yield is like, how do I prove that I'm doing a strategy that's good within what the user is requested? I'm not just pocketing your money. Vaults have been a solution to this because everything's on chain, but then how do you beat quants or like big funds? You definitely can't because you have to be fully transparent about it. So TLDR, lots of issues with like slashing and intents and reputation for yield when you think about scaling it to other actors if you're not transparent. So everything that we're doing with our own agents, like fully transparent, aggregation for the most part, and then basic automations between it, leaning into RWAs as well down the line. I don't think you'll see a world anytime soon where it's like you're beating some super small liquid private fund for automating yield. I also don't think that's what we're building. Like we're just trying to build like this is the best place for the average person and for more aggressive strats for slightly more sophisticated users to go and use this. Like there will always be quants. There will always be like isolated funds that are trading. That was a little tangential to your question, I guess. As far as us, like we're live with single agent or our strategy that's going and doing it. We're building out the trust execution environment stuff, so users have guarantees on what's going on. Similar to everyone, we're spinning up smart wallets. We're using 7702 now. In addition to like for chains that don't have smart wallets like Solana, we're just doing like privy wallets, but with granular permissioning surrounding it. So TLD, like we can automate everything for you, for a user. It's still one click. Like the flow to this is one click, just as it'll be one click in 1,000 years when it's truly an AI agent doing all this. Like it's users don't think, you're just stating your original intent either through natural language or what we've been more bullish on is UIs that you already like and know. Like don't think about talking to a chatbot, drag a slider, enter a number, click and read about strategies, one click, like end to end 10 seconds. There's no need. And yeah, chatbot for discovery, sure, but we're not focused at all on like discovery or research agents.
But I think this is the point of time. Like I would love to see your product itself, like because this is we are reaching that point where this seems so lovely and rosy in terms of output itself, but like how is it in terms of execution and how a user can go ahead and utilize Axel and AIFI. As somebody who's watching this, what like anybody can go in first and showcase like what they're doing specifically on their product and how like easy for anybody would be to just go ahead and do that.
Yeah, I can start really quick. I'll just share my screen. Let me grab it.
Sure.
Can you guys see this? I'm sharing my whole screen right now, so it should just be there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see this? Okay.
Can you show some private keys? Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is my account, so you know my email now, docs. I'll log out so you guys can see it, but the flow right now, we've been iterating quick on this, so this is literally over the past month as far as like what the UI can look like. We're going to make a proper landing page, but you hop into this, you see the circle. This is sort of like the central focal point of it. Conservative, balanced, and aggressive. One-click hard-coded strategies for now. Like we've put a set of assets into a conservative pool, similar to what these guys were saying with Giza and some of these other protocols. For us, conservative is Aave and Morpho, adding on Euler and Sky. Balance gets a little bit more aggressive. So we're doing some stuff on Hyperliquid, like Felix is a stable coin that's launched. That's been quite successful. USDXL, some stuff with like Hyperbeat, etc. Along with Camino and Solana strats. Aggressive is like Wild West, like lots of looping, lots of like longer tail assets or vaults or chains, but with automation surrounding it. And you can kind of see some of what we originally have. If I go ahead and log in, or actually to put money in, basically, you set up, you create a Privy account. I'll log in with what I already have. All you do is enter the amount. So once you've funded the wallet, which is of course crypto's problem always, like getting money into it, but we've tried to make it easy for our users, like a Li-Fi modal right here for doing a cross-chain swap to get money in, or fund by a Privy, and you can pay with card, do other stuff, whatever. But once you get money in this wallet, it'll show up here as idle cash. You can see I'm currently earning 7.6. This is also outdated. I think it's a little higher because our cron jobs are off. But you can see Aave, a couple of the top Morpho vaults, another Aave vault, and then Felix, which is kind of carrying the load here. It's 50% of my portfolio, earning 13.6. To modify allocations, all that I do is enter a different number, and then this changes. It's really that simple. Learn about it at any point in time. Chatbot to like chat about strats if you really want to, but not the focal point of the product. Cashing out is also easy. One click, exit from all positions button. So that's what I mean. Like it is truly one click once you've gotten money into the product, the issue is getting money in, and we're working with some top companies that I will not name just yet for solving on-ramping.
Sure, you're not going to throw any alphas before, like in this stream specifically. Like,
If people who are watching this DM me or email me, if you paid attention and you've seen my doxed email, we'll give you a code for the balance strategies, which we're whitelisting 20 to 30% APY across Camino in a couple of the hyperliquid protocols. But we've been
I
whitelisting
think I'm
people for
gonna
that strat.
do it myself. So post stream, but yeah. So Deepan, I really want to see what you guys have been cooking with AFI. I
Yeah.
I kind of misspelled it at very first. I used to call it like AIFI because everybody's is onto that wave of AIFI, and yeah, people. But yeah, go ahead, share your screen, man.
Yeah, I mean, so this was like heavily on the strategy side. So our platform is heavily on the research side at this point. So probably I'll run you through one of our flagship research agents, which at this point is Silo. So, the one of the most lucrative strategies in case of lending and borrowing is, of course, looping strategies. So let's say if I have to go and search for what's the best looping strategy on Silo Finance, and I just click for it to search, what happens over here basically it goes through our looping tool. So the looping tool is basically the one which finds the optimal looping strategy for you across at this point all the markets on Silo Finance, and then gives you the best outcome which is possible. So you can directly see here we've generated all the different pools which are possible in terms of looping. And what's the leverage over there? Now, a lot of markets in Silo are non-borrowable. So in those cases, you will not be able to loop. So what's the leverage? What's the net APR? And what is the final health factor which you will land at? And on top of that, you can also go ahead and ask it to, probably see, let's say if you choose probably market ID 3, and if we have to see what kind of APRs do they individually have, then what are the supply and borrow APRs over
But
last?
something I
Go
want to ask, like, this is not something which would be like public knowledge if I go ahead and I put on, like, I utilize deep research of Gemini, or I use anything else. Like, would I be able to fetch this kind of knowledge specifically
No.
for Silo?
Not possible. It's just because the LLM is literally being used only to interact with the chat interface. But what we have built is the set of proprietary tools which is getting you this data out. So if we are to determine the supply and borrow APRs over the last 15 days along with their graphs, then this is what AFI generates for you. This is basically for backtesting any strategy across the last 15 days to Silo and Sonic ecosystem is pretty new. So it's like probably 3 months or so. And then you can go ahead and ask the same thing.
And what model are you using for this?
This is GPT 4.1 at this point.
Wait, so are you
Okay.
guys like prompting the base model or doing fine tuning or something fancier? Like, as a user, what guarantees do I
This is
have that like any of this is accurate too?
so at the end of the day, the data which you are getting is basically coming out of proprietary tools which we have built. So I'll kind of explain you the structure, how we work, right? So there's an LLM layer at the top where the user comes and interacts. What the LLM does is it generates SQL queries which go ahead to the AFI tools. Now we have created a set of proprietary tools. A few of them basically go ahead and query on-chain historic market data for you. A few of them are made for real-time market data. A few of them give you liquidation data, so on and so forth, for different markets and for different protocols across the Sonic ecosystem. And these tools have access to a database where we have on-chain data stored from all of these different protocols. So at the end of the day, the data which you're getting is accurate. One of the things which we definitely boast about at AFI is we don't hallucinate at all, right? So that's one of the biggest strategies, and that's one of the biggest boosts for us as a protocol as well. So that's the thing, because we are not giving AI to handle the financial data at the end of the day. What we are saying is we have built out tools. It's a completely agentic AI approach where The LLM is only used to make calls to these. Now, what will help in the future is more, and as the base model gets more and more better over time, what will happen is the DeFi context that it understands will become better over time. So it can give you better output in terms of natural language. That's it. Nothing more than that.
This makes sense. Now the tool call makes sense.
Yeah. So it's like,
And do you
you
think
can,
this could potentially mature into making decisions for the users? Like, just no, I'm not using this just for information, but I'm going ahead. Like, what is happening with Axel right now? Like, is what I see that they are handling the complete uh, information arbitrage on different pools and liquidity. What's the charge on Axel Ash? Like, how much you guys are charging in terms of who's paying for the user end? Like, how are you charging the user for maintaining this liquidity yield?
We're not charging at all. We're not charging at all for the time being in the foreseeable future. I think this is like a market and a product where you just want to win as much TVL as possible, get everyone onboarded. And like with any product, especially most things in DeFi, people will move the second that you're taking too much. Like we don't want to build a business model where my profit is competitive with user profit. We want it to be like a performance fee. So at some point we'll introduce like a X% of profits and that'll scale. So if I'm getting you like 50%, 60% APY through some of the strats, then maybe I'm getting 5 to 10. But if I'm only getting you an Aave pool rate or something, then I'm probably getting bips, like very small. But we're not charging it all right now, and that's like a very intentional decision. Yeah, it's cool to see the AI5 product as well. Like in my head, companies like that and products like that could be used to interface with like a lot of the infra that we're building. We're focused fully on strategy execution, and we want it to be like it handles it for you too. So one API that you ping, and then based off of your Twitter profile and your transaction history and all these other factors, we can go and execute trades. But a lot of that discovery does happen at an LLM level, and maybe it's like using some research model to then go and plug in, like maybe their model, their agent goes and plugs into my agents that are then going and doing the executions. And I'm spending my life focused on guarantees for execution. He's spending his life focused on like accurate information that then results in a
Yeah.
strat. Like, I don't know if
So they've
Sonic
been
pools are hot right now. He gets me that data. Then we have execution agents that go and do that.
can this be
Yeah.
ingested by an API, or do you have an MCP to utilize this kind of data? Like, can it be connected?
Yeah,
of
it
course.
definitely can. I mean, there's just so much
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, sorry, go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, definitely this can be connected because so the kind of architecture which we have in place is basically, so you are seeing individual agents at AFI at this point, but what will happen is there'll be an orchestrator agent on top of this. The orchestrator agent will make a call to a scout agent. The scout agent is one which searches across all of the different protocols and their individual protocol agents. And these protocol agents will have access to the proprietary tools which we have built in place. So the user directly interacts with the orchestrator agent at the end of the day. Don't need to go into a single protocol and research about that. So it's basically at the end of the day, you are calling out through your orchestrator agent that, I have 1,000 USDC. What could be a possible strategy to get me 15 to 20% yield? And it goes and searches it across several protocols which we have integrated at this point. And we'll be opening up access so that people can come and integrate their research agents on top of us as well. And then from there, it definitely goes into the execution part of it where people go and execute it. We can do it through partners. We also do have plans to kind of build an execution layer on our side as well. So yeah, let's see how that goes.
Something I'm very very curious about, and it comes from my biasness as well. Like, because you guys have been utilizing different APIs, and like, what's your take on you doing it on decentralized cloud? Like, what's your take, like, and what's your positioning on to do that? Because we see a lot of people who are there, like, they're definitely using, like, for compute, so there is, we call this like a blowfish scheme where they give you credits and then you're logged into it and then you're utilizing it. But do you potentially see that you guys would be utilizing decentralized compute in coming time? And if yes, like, how would you position that, like, in terms of, and I'm going to give you a go around of Spheron as well, like, because yeah, that's the whole point. But yeah, I really want to understand from your POVs as well, because everybody is on it, like, okay, yeah, everybody's utilizing it. There are people who are using these agents. I'm not sure what is the current user base, because I think AFI is not live to the public right now, and Axel is also, I think I got a whitelist form onto it, so it's into whitelisting right now. So like, please do whitelist me. And but So I'm not going to ask about the user base right now because the thing hasn't touched scale yet. But what happens when you hit scale, like thousands of agents utilizing you, and then you got to move your compute to decentralized compute? Like, is that a possibility, or any builder who's using it right now? And that is what we would recommend. That any builder who's using it right now can go ahead and utilize Spheron. But what's your complete take on this?
That's a good question. There's like lots of parts here. I think about it from first principles because it's so easy to get lost in the sauce. Like users need guarantees, whether no matter who it is. Like my mom has some like Fidelity dude making like 200K a year who just manages her money, right? It's like the archaic way of things, but like she has guarantees. There's a legal system that gives her guarantees of like this guy passed some tests, like he for sure is not fucking with your money. He's like qualified to do this, whatever. We need the equivalent, but in code. So when I think about the stack, it's like non-custodial wallet. Like all your money is in a wallet that you can get the fuck out of at any point in time. The beauty of this though, and the challenge is like it's a double-edged sword. It's non-custodial, but somebody else has permissions to execute things on your behalf, whether it's an AI agent or a human or a deterministic algorithm. So how do we secure that? Our solution right now, trusted execution environments hosted on AWS when it comes to secure enclaves or Nitro enclaves, which is like what everybody in the industry is kind of doing. They're good people that are doing stuff with T networks or decentralizing that side of it. Compute as well. It's like a lot of this is like we have servers just totally centralized that are maybe going and doing this research and figuring out what's happening. But because of the TE approach, we open source the logic that's inside of the TE. So users have a guarantee that only that code is being ran. Crypto has reached a very interesting point because like you don't need contracts or vaults for everything. It's like you could just have these hardware guarantees of like this code is running and doing these things, and users know for sure. And it's easier for me as a developer to just go and deploy things as desired when I can write in any language and change up these strats while still giving users guarantees. But so that's how I think about it. I think decentralized compute, especially when models are being ran, makes sense and it's inevitable. It's more like what point does that make the most sense to actually execute on? Like today, if it's like your wallet agent only has granular permissions, we're using Intents and a lot of just high latency or low latency, like really productive off-chain infra that's being proved on-chain via transactions, via permissions, via signing. That's fine. I think it's like fine for the near term. I'm curious what AI5 thinks about this as well. Curious how,
But
like for the tool calling as well, like what level is this like on-chain versus off-chain? What level is this like black box versus totally
the whole
public?
narrative around T is, I don't know, like even Prashant has his own ideas, which truly thinks like our own segment of like how Ts are served is pretty contradictory to the whole idea. Like it has just picked up. Ts has been there like for years now, and we have our set of own apprehensions towards it, like people utilizing Ts on large scale and making it a need per se, because at the end of the day, if the developer has a backdoor to stuff that
That's the
it
key
means,
thing.
yeah,
The key thing is there should not be a backdoor. The way Ts are used today, they have a
Yeah.
backdoor. Privy, Dynamic, all of these wallet providers, there is a global key where in theory, like somebody, like the developer can go and fuck with shit. That's why we've had to build our own infra. It's like we're leveraging these guys, but then that global key is deployed inside of the T without going too much into the tech. That's deployed inside of the TE. Not even me, like if I wanted to, can go and look at it. We have fault tolerance with the backups across the board. So there might be another TE that also has access to this, but like no human can go and look at it. It's like only code that's in the TE that can access that. Like that's the theme. It's like with security or cryptography in any capacity, a single chain in this long series of chains can like mess up and then the user is fucked. So for us, it's like making sure not a single chain is messed up. Like there is no backdoor, there is no global key. What you see is what you get, like fundamentally. As long as that's true, we've been big fans.
Wow. I think this really proves, like, I would go ahead and showcase you guys like what we are doing at Spheron. So I'm just gonna show it on very surface right now. Like it's a like, and something which we are proud about. We just crossed 1 million ARR in our revenue. Like we just posted it out, and it's on chain revenue, so anybody can see it, and we're very happy to see that. Like global adoption coming onto compute specifically, because this space is a very interesting space, honestly, because there are a lot of things that is happening in the space, and we just added like something which we did recently. Added the SSH key feature, and So there are two parts of this. You guys can go ahead and you can get secure cloud and you can get community cloud from it as well. So let's say secure cloud are the ones which are data centers which have connected, or the machines which have been verified, and these are on top of it. And community clouds are the one. And what I like about community cloud is this is actually democratic cloud, like which is connected by the people all around the world, and you can go ahead and you can rent them out right now and you can give them a workload you want to. So anybody who's building into this space, like spinning off an agent, doing something right now, like if I want to like utilize it for any specific like template, and like something which we see like stable diffusion or like WAN or anything which people want to utilize it on, they can just spin it off on the go. And that is what we feel that a true product can come up with, can actually remove the friction of blockchain and friction of, like, let's say putting things on chain if it's working really well. Like I would love to show you guys like what we have achieved with Fizz as well. Like you'd love to see that there are so many GPUs which are connected on top of Fizz just like that, and you can utilize them right away. Like you can go to the leaderboard, you can see like you want to see that there is a tiering system onto this, and it is fairly very simple. Like I'm going to be very honest in this stream. Like I know Axel and AFI are not utilizing it right now, but I truly believe in our set of services and what Spheron is trying to do. And I'm pretty sure that in some time, I guess will come around and will give them compute and bring on board with decentralized compute for sure. Like in whatever compute needs they have right now, and that is somewhere how we have sustained and scaled in this market. And this is what we have been building. Like that's what I truly like about the space, is that compute is something which is so composable that anybody can use right now. Like if you want to do it, spin something, you will go ahead and spin off a new compute, you can just do it like right away. And something I'm not gonna show in this stream is the framework Skynet, which we have been working on, and which I would definitely reach out to you guys for how we would be integrating it with Axel and AIFI. So before you guys go, and the last part of the stream, I gave you a link called tg.spheron.network. So I want you to go ahead and share your screen and spin that for us and showcase that how you can go ahead and spin it for people who are watching this and part of the community. It's fairly very easy, honestly. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is my screen visible, by the way?
that
just a second, I can't see it. Can you try again?
Yep.
Sudeepan is stuck.
Just a second.
And people who are watching this is the whitelisting code, and
Is it visible now?
yeah, it is. Yes, we can see it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sudeepan.
let's
Make us proud. Is it just stuck for me?
I think it's
No,
Okay,
it
how
ran
much
for
did
me.
you get? Okay, 250. Oh, that's like second
Yeah, no,
lowest. So, but again, so in most of the times our guest gets like 100 or 250. So that shows like how transparent we are, even with our guest. It got me like 100. So I think that is somewhere I feel. Okay, let's see how lucky.
my God.
Okay, damn, this isn't rigged, but yeah, Ash also got
I
250.
think it's rigged.
But thank you
I think
so
it's
much,
rigged.
guys, for being
I don't think it's rigged.
Probably-
No, it doesn't.
Probably make an agent crack it.
But thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Like, I like seeing products which are being built and which are not just an idea, and which really comes along with what is being preached in the market and what's the segment going on right now. And my favorite part of the stream is when people go ahead and speak about their product. Like that is somewhere like I see that shine in their eyes, like what they have created and what they have achieved so far. And this was pretty amazing. Like it was good to have you, Sudeepan and Ash, to this, and thank you so much for being here. And this specific moment, this is for you to shine with your project. Like this is chill time, and in chill time, you can go ahead and speak about your product. Anything which is coming up right now, go ahead and speak about it. And over to Sudeepan and Ash in the sequence.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I mean, we would probably be going live with our first swarm end of this month, and it would have kind of like a tiered framework where we'd be launching like initial a couple of $1 million worth of pool, and we'll be scaling to like a $50 million worth of volume on a particular swarm. So anyone wanting to try that out can just come to our platform and try that out. And secondly, we do have a whitelist live for the entire Sonic ecosystem. So you can just go to our website and join the whitelist. We have already over 1,500 people in the whitelist. We have given access to almost 56 people right now who are testing out the product at scale. We are yet to give it to Prakash, but we'll give it definitely. And I'll send one over to Ash too, so that he can try out the platform. So yeah, that's it from my side.
Yeah, absolutely. No, eager for it. Eager for it. Yeah, on our end, Axel is just the goal. Really, best place to earn yield. Starting off with these one-click strategies, and of course, we've talked a lot about how to expand. Most pressing, we're whitelisting folks, as Prakash mentioned, for the medium strategy. We're talking 20 to 30%. On the 20 side, it's closer to like pure stables, so there's no principal asset risk. I think it's something that people don't think about enough. And then, of course, there's some different things that we can do where it gets a little fancier, but we're whitelisting for those. Similar rollout strategy is these guys at AIFi. A couple mil is what we're capping these medium things to, capping individual deposits, and then looking to really scale over the course of the summer. And then we'll be getting aggressive strats out end of June. Everything is just at ax.al. Very simple. If you go to that website, you can track everything. Our Twitter is @Axel because we're not rich enough to buy AXAL just yet. But yeah.
Amazing. I'm going to end this because Prashant is not here. So I'm going to end this with telling about Spheron. Spheron is building world's biggest data center. And if you want compute, we are there for you, from scalable, composable, and most accessible compute in the world. And we have just reached 1 million ARR, which is like rarity in Web3, honestly. So, and we are super proud of that. And this is all because of our partner, our community, and our support of everybody who is helping Spheron grow and helping Spheron scale day by day. And thank you so much for watching this. Thank you so much, Ash. Thank you so much, Sudeepan. You guys were awesome.